to talk to you today about motorbike riding in Bali. I've covered all the basic information in the past about licenses and international permits and all the rest of the stuff, but I'll go quickly over that because I want to sort of go on a little bit of a different topic this time. Okay, so let's just go over the regulations first. It's the easiest place to start and probably one of the most important things to understand properly. If you are on a tourist visa and you want to come over here and go for a ride on a motorbike, you need to have an international driving license, and you also need to have a motorcycle license in Australia. Now, many people will say they're only scooters, and in Australia I can ride a scooter of up to 60 cc's or 80, 100, whatever it is. So therefore my driver's license covers me for scooters as well. It does in Australia in some states, but it doesn't here. So you've got to understand that in order to legally ride a motorbike in Bali, you must have a motorcycle rider's license in Australia and or wherever you come from, and an international driving permit that clearly identifies that you have a motorcycle riding license in that country. If you don't, there's a number of things that could happen. You may be refused permission to rent that scooter, although to be honest, many places in Bali don't enforce those regulations. You also will almost certainly not be covered for any insurance policy you might have, even if your insurance covers you for scooters over under so many cc's or whatever. If it's illegal for you to ride without a specific extra permit or endorsement or whatever in the country that you go to, your insurance still won't cover you. You must have both international driving license and a motorcycle rider's license in your country of origin. You also must wear a helmet. My God, I can't tell you how often I see people riding around look, and it seems to be in a couple of specific areas. I've got to say Canggu is number one, doesn't need a helmet, and people don't care. And that just seems to be because there are an awful lot of Eastern Europeans and younger expats getting around, going to and from the gym, having their wheatgrass smoothies. Like I eat that all the time, but there are a lot of people in this area, not just tourists. I've got to say the locals are pretty relaxed on it too. It's not what you can do. You might be a very competent motorbike rider. It's the millions of other people on the road. It's the people who don't respect you or don't regard you, or it's the difference between the regulations that you're used to and the ones that they're used to, because I promise you, the road rules that you're used to in Australia or wherever you come from are not the same as they are here in Indonesia. So the strongest advice I would give anyone coming over here on holidays, unless you're an experienced motorbike rider, I've been riding motorbikes since about 5 years old. That's 55 years, and I have been on big motorbikes, Harleys and big bikes, for over 30 of those years. I've ridden all around the world. I've ridden certainly all around Australia and done the Nullarbor Plain, and you name it. I've ridden some long miles. Very experienced motorbike rider, and I didn't ride motorbikes in Bali until I moved here, until I was actually living here, and I got some driving instruction from my soon-to-be wife Fee, and then I started sort of getting a feel for the roads. It is so chaotic that in the first few months of me riding, even just around the village, and this is during COVID too, so there was almost no cars on the road, but I still nearly had accidents almost every day. And to be honest, it's until you understand what the system is over here, it is so dangerous to ride, and there is an etiquette and a courtesy and whatever that you really need to know before you're safe to actually get out into the main areas. But you can't take what you've already known, even if you've been riding for years. You can't necessarily take that as a guarantee that you're going to be safe. In fact, some of the ones that are more dangerous is people that have ridden a bit, they've ridden motocross or they've ridden before, but they're not full-time motorbike riders, and they think they're all over it, and they think, well, if these guys can do it, I can do it. But they don't realise that there are such a difference in the regulations and in the driving styles and the rules of the road that you could easily end up with a car coming straight for you, because they don't necessarily drive on two sides of the road. They drive on footpaths, they drive in oncoming lanes, and quite often you're expected to get out of their way because they're bigger and they've got less places to go. So there we go, look at this. Just push up between a truck and two trucks with another motorbike coming the other way. It's just how it happens. So yeah, I'll get that out of the way. As a first or second time visitor, or someone who just comes over here and said, that looks like fun, let's go and do that. And there's a million places you can rent motorbikes from here in Bali. You just got to go outside the door and there'll be someone offering you to rent a motorbike out the front of your hotel. You'll have people on this one up here, this green Gojek. Gojek is like an Uber on a bike. They also have Gojek cars and Gojek trucks and you name it. But Gojeks are a nice, easy, very, very cheap way of getting around in Bali. You get the motorbike experience for about $1. It's so cheap to go anywhere on a Gojek that you can go there, have some fun, experience it, learn how insane the traffic is without putting your life on the line, which to me sounds like a much better idea. So the safety side of things over and done with. I need to talk about what happens for those people who are looking to move over here or come over here that regularly, like a fly in, fly out, that they want to have a more permanent arrangement for transport. A good friend of mine has recently moved to Bali from New South Wales. They're building a house over here, they're setting up permanent home base here, and he's never been on a motorbike in his life. Now, automatically you'd say alarm bells, careful, careful, because if he's never been on a motorbike, this is the last place in the world to learn. Well, it is. It's more dangerous for people who think they know what they're doing than it is for people who admit they don't. Because if you're a first-time ever motorbike rider, you learn from scratch in a country where you don't know the rules anyway. So, what my friend's done, he went to a driving school where they have motorbike helmets with intercoms built into them, and you jump on the bike and your instructor follows you and tells you what to do and how to do it, what brakes to use, and gives you basic motorbike instructions and basic road rules live while you're riding in front of them. And it's actually a really good idea. To be honest, it wasn't that expensive either. It was about $300 Australian, I think, or maybe 3 million rupiah, which is probably only about $250. And it was a 3-day course, but the beautiful thing about that was, at the end of the course, they take you to the police station, certify you as a instructed driver, and you get your license, all for the same price. So, is this a good idea? Look, it is under certain conditions. It is if you're not 21 and think you're invincible. If you're sensible, look, there are hundreds of 60-year-old ladies running around on motorbikes over here. There are hundreds of 14-year-old kids on motorbikes going to and from school. There are millions of people that drive with their kids on the motorbike every day, and yes, they do have a pretty high mortality rate, but almost everyone that dies on a motorbike in Bali is either riding without a helmet, riding fast in an area that you shouldn't be, or something runs out straight in front of them and they don't have time to react. So it is important to say, if you're learning to ride in Bali, for God's sake, take it easy. If you're just doing it to go down to the shops and back, so you can go and get some supplies, or to get around your local area, I have absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you're going to be riding at about 20 kilometers an hour like I am at the moment. You're just cruising through the local village. There's not much that can go wrong, and if you do end up having a crash, the chances are it's not going to do any more than bruise your pride. Especially, you must be wearing a helmet and you must be being sensible. if you're driving at night time, if you're driving after drinking, if you're not wearing a helmet, if you think you've got an idea of what's going on and you're feeling invincible, it's not a good time to flex your muscles, because that's a really good time to end up under a car. But this car in front of me, that is a driving car. Now that's like a driving instructor. There are driving instructors here in Bali. It's not compulsory, and unfortunately, to the best of my knowledge, there's still no driving test. When you get to the police department, they don't test to see if you can drive. They just check your identification and make sure you are who you say you are, and then they send you out with a new license. So just imagine every single person on the road that you're going past, none of them have done a driving test. It's not about you, it's not about how smart or how lucky you are. It's about how dangerous these guys are. It's about someone with no helmet getting a bug in their eye and suddenly swerving out of the way of a dog or something. It's about all of the unknown variables that could happen at any moment that you've got no control over, and the impact that could have on you for the rest of your life. So taking it carefully, sensibly, and cautiously will most definitely help you to survive. Okay, so you've got your license. It's a 5-year Bali license. It's a different license for a car as it is for a bike, by the way, and it's a separate fee as well. So you either get one or the other, which is why they don't think it's okay to ride on a car license, because you can't ride a motorbike on a car license over here. So you've got your license. You've done 3 days of instructions, and you've sort of learnt the basics, and you get out on the scooter. Now scooters are generally automatic, there's no gears to worry about, and the brakes are usually pretty simple and pretty basic. If you're sitting under the limit, you're only doing 20-30 kilometers an hour, you'll get around pretty well. They've got good storage under the seat, and sometimes you get a little top box on the back so you can put your groceries there, or take a backpack with you to go to the shop and go to the supermarket, and it's really easy. I still suggest that you or your partner, if you're a first-time motorbike rider, if you want to get some practice in, call a Gojek, call a motorbike, a Gojek or a Grab motorbike, and put your wife on the back of the Grab, on the professional driver, and you follow him, and do a couple of days. When you're out and about in public, go say, okay, take me from here to Sanua Beach, or take me from here into town, or take me to the supermarket. And so you're driving, she's safe because she's on the back of a scooter that's being ridden by someone who can ride probably better than me under these circumstances. And you're getting practice following someone who knows exactly what to look for. Spend a week doing that. It's only going to cost you an extra, if it's $1 per trip, it's usually not even that. From wherever you live down to the supermarket, it's probably beans, it's probably like 50 cents or 80 cents or something. So, but spend a few dollars, get, and it also means that you've got complete control of your motorbike. You're not worrying about someone overbalancing or feeling uncomfortable or shifting their weight or something. Having a pillion on the back of a bike when they're not used to it is actually very dangerous. So get someone to take her, you follow them, see what they're doing. It's a simple idea. It's a really cheap, easy way. You've just paid $300 for a driving test or for driving lessons. Now pay an extra $10 and get someone to show you how to actually navigate traffic and how to get from where you are to where you need to go. something happens to a local, they've got local insurances, they've got their family close by, and they take their chances jumping on a bike because often they can't afford anything else. If you're looking to ride a motorbike and you're willing to take your time and learn how to do it, there's hundreds and hundreds of people over here, well, there's thousands of expats over here that do ride, and most of them ride safely, and most of them don't have any problems. The ones that do have problems are invariably the ones that are racing around at breakneck speed, going like a bat out of hell, and wondering why suddenly they end up in strife. So another way to learn how to ride in Bali, if you're a motorbike rider but you want to have a bit of practice in Bali, don't forget that my wife has just started up a company called MIB. It might stand for Mazda in Bali. I'm not saying it does or it doesn't. The official name is Jelajah Pariwisata Bali, and that means Bali Adventure Tours, and it's an adventure bike tour where we take you for 1, 2 or 3 day tours. The 1 day tour is a beautiful scenic route up the east coast of Bali, and goes up to a beautiful town called Ahmed, one of the most picturesque and one of the most best scuba diving and snorkeling places that Bali has to offer. On the way back that afternoon, you come back through Rice Terrace and through some of the UNESCO World Heritage sites and see some of the ancient Balinese villages and temples. It's a great little windy, twisty road with not many people, a few bumps, and it's almost all sealed, but it's challenging riding, and it's good for people who know how to ride but haven't ridden in traffic in Bali and they want to try to keep out of the way a bit. That's the 1 day tour. The 2 day tour, we do the same as the 1 day tour. We start in Sanur at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we take off and we go up around the coast road following the beautiful villas and villages up around the coast of Amanapura and up to Ahmed. From there we go to Kintamani, to the volcanic region, and we spend some time around the volcanic areas through some of the most amazing twisty, windy, scenic motorbike routes. Absolutely stunning riding, and it's so much fun to just get onto the route. We're winding our way on brand new Honda CBXs. They're a beautiful bike for touring. They're an excellent bike for medium light off-roading, but they're absolutely perfect for what we're doing. And we have a small fleet of them, and we're looking forward to taking people on their adventures around Bali. The 3 day tour is a full circumnavigation of the island of Bali, and we'll take you right around the coastline following. We'll stop at beautiful beaches and we'll take photos. We'll see the mountains, we'll see the waterfalls, we'll see all sorts of different regions, and we'll do it in a protected and guided environment so that we can be there to help you to understand what you're doing and how to do it safely. Again, it's an easy way for you to learn how to familiarise yourself with Bali, to go with a team of people where you've got someone at the front that's keeping the pace and showing you where to go, and then waiting for you at the next town, so you're not wondering about how far do I have to go before I've got to fill up, and where do we go from the next town, and when can we stop for lunch, or where do we go. Fantastic idea. And the tours start, at the moment we've got some opening specials, so the tours are starting at a cost of 185 Australian dollars for the 1 day tour, 365 for the 2 day tour, and 485 for the 3 day tour. That includes insurance, it includes helmets, your motorbike hire, the tour guides, accommodation, meals on the overnight trips, and some snacks and beverages as well. So if you want to learn to ride, if you want to not learn to ride, sorry, if you want to learn to ride in Bali, if you want to get some tour guided experience, be in charge of your own motorbike within a group of people that are there to support you, the easiest way to do that is to get hold of KW Tours, because they're looking after all the bookings. My mate Katut is helping us run these tours, and he's the first port of call. Get on to him, tell us when you're coming. We're doing at least one trip every week, usually starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but it does depend on what days we have customers available. Give us a holler, see what we can do, see if we can fit you in, and we look forward to taking you on one of the Muzzer in Bali, the MIB Adventure Bike Tours. Love your work, guys. Thanks for listening to me waffle on. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this insane traffic. Most importantly, guys, stay safe out there. Don't be in a hurry to get somewhere. Remember, you're on holidays. These guys that you're fighting for room on the roads with aren't on holidays, and they've got to get somewhere in a hurry. So just sit back, take your time, enjoy the ride, and make it home safely. Love your work. Thanks for being a part of it. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and that like button, because it's a good way for us to know that we're doing the right content and that we're helping you guys. And more importantly, it helps YouTube know that there's people that are engaging with us and what they're up to. Let us know where you're from. I'd love to hear where these videos are being watched from. Are you in Australia? Are you in the USA? I've got people in Egypt and Russia, all over the world watching me now. So I'd love to know where you come from. Just leave your location in the comment section, and any questions you've got, and I'll do my best to get back to you with an answer. See you guys. Thanks.